another My Little Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Bree. I'm here with my father, Gary.
Hello.
My husband, Jared.
Hi.
And my brother, Bryson.
Hello.
Today we're going to be chit-chatting with you about the most recent Weekly Peek. But before we get into that, hello, it's been so long.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness. We're so excited to be back here today.
Yes, I've been going through withdrawals.
But a quick mention of our t-shirt shop, merchandise shop. We got a bunch of great, fun, unique merchandise.
I'm not wearing mine.
What?
Imagine I have a T-shirt on with one of our...
We had one job.
I know, one thing to do. Hello, Dad!
Uniform. But if you'd like to pick up something, the link will be down there in the description. We do have Father's Day coming up.
That's why I'm wearing this. It's Father's Day.
He
wants
another
great
one.
option for Father's Day might be the skid steer, Skidder Done shirts.
That's a good one.
And
So just a little wink and a nod. And the last Weekly Peek that we did, actually we have done one other Weekly Peek, but we weren't able to do a podcast at the time because we've been going back and forth from the property actually up to Grandma's.
Yeah.
Kind of this whole back and forth situation, just doing some family stuff. All is well. But we just, life throws you some curveballs and you just take them as you come. The cool thing was we got to spend a lot of time with Grandma, which was fun.
Yes.
And so the guys have been coming back every so often and working a little bit. So Bryson was able to put together, actually all of the guys were able to put together that Weekly Peek. And you guys got a lot laid in there as well. That happened. And then we brought, one of the times you guys came back, you brought the bed back because I was like, oh man, I'd really like to get going on that painting. And Jared's like, yeah, no problem. So you brought that up and we painted away and did that bed, which was super fun.
Yes.
We have a comment here by Charlotte Brown. Charlotte says, I love what you did with the bed frame. It's so happy and whimsical. I love it. Thank you. Could you tell me where you got the comforter with the big daisies on it? And actually, we found that on Facebook Marketplace.
Ooh.
Somebody was selling them. And we ended up picking up actually a couple of comforters, but this one was... The one that we put on the bed was the one that fit in it the most.
Yeah.
I think the other one we'll probably put in the RV.
It was kind of interesting. We were there with. I'm almost sure if we had more cash on hand, we probably would have walked away with more.
It was a store that had shut down.
It was a store that shut down. They wanted to reopen it or whatever, so they just had it all packed in like this little back building.
Bunch of comforters, blankets.
We drove back. We're like, okay. We walked in there. It was like, whoa! Like there was like so many. There was this beautiful rug that like changed like faded color, and it was really cool. Oh man, if we had a bunch of cash, it would have been spent.
Goodness. Grandma walked away with a new comforter.
Grandma walked away,
bed. And we walked out with two, and then Mom would have walked out with a couple, but we were tapped. They were very good prices, and we were in good price heaven because usually they're like, we got it for $30. I think it was $30 for that whole comforter and set and everything. It's unbelievably good price.
Yeah.
So
it was really
we
good.
were very happy.
Happy.
Kurt K says, hit it with a few coats of poly to help protect it and make it easier to dust. Thank you, Kurt. We actually did that. I don't think we showed it on camera, but we did put polyurethane on all of the everything. So,
including the comforter. Yeah, that is hard plastic. You go to
we had Jared in there for a while spraying it. See if it would be coated.
You kind of wonder, it's hard. We glued it in there. We also put resin over it. Yep. It's a solid brick. It might look like a bed, but it's not.
It's not. I mean, that'd be such a bummer. Yeah, this is a prop. It's not a bed.
It's a prop. We don't actually sleep here. We sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier.
Next to the dog. Perfect. One of those little dog beds you curl up in.
Dog beds. That's where we sleep. Okay.
It makes us feel at home.
Okay,
with
and
the dogs.
Catherine McChesney says, your bed is entirely too close to your wood stove, and I would agree with you if we use the wood stove. Right now, it's also a prop. No.
Yeah, it's a prop.
Yeah. In fact, looks like it works.
We would never want to even fire it up because if you look on the outside of the building, the exhaust just goes right into a tree.
Yeah,
so that's how long
the tree grew.
It
wasn't there before.
when we built it.
And what we ended up doing, because I am particularly notorious for forgetting that the fire's there until I'm freezing. So, and I've never remembered to keep feeding it. So Mom and Dad had mercy on me, and they got I don't
feed the fire.
They got a little heater in there for us. So that is what we have been using. But if we wanted to do to put the fire on, it's still a functional stove. We would just have to move the bed over and cut it down. So right now it's just something to put the plant on.
Yeah,
it's a planter holder.
It's cute looking. So, but I agree. I wouldn't recommend if you had a fireplace to put it that close to the bed.
Not a good thing.
The Whipple Family Adventure says, I just realized this month it's 5 years since we've been watching y'all's channel. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Ask Uncle Mason said, did the hydroponics survive? Will we be seeing more of them this year?
Yes, it has survived. The fish barely made it.
But they did.
They did. I had to take them in to the room for like a couple days out of the year. I mean, I'm so close to keeping it warm enough to where you just don't have to keep them. But like for right now, that's the case. Specifically to the tilapia. Mm-hmm. The koi, they're fine. They keep living on. They shock me how long they just live and without fail. But anyway, apparently you can eat koi, so maybe it'll just be a koi pond. Apparently it tastes like
good?
chicken. I don't know.
Chicken, everything.
I don't know. Apparently they have koi tacos, and they're supposed to be really good. I couldn't imagine eating koi because I feel like that's like eating a dog or eating,
or a horse.
a pet.
Yeah.
Or a horse. Like,
not
to me,
that people around the world don't do that, but here it'd be like.
Here it's like, no. But like, I mean, it's a fish. It's a fish. So if I don't know if I have a male or female in there. I don't know if they're both females or both males. I don't really know. I just tossed them in there just to have something in there that would work year round. They seem to live. But yeah, other than that, recently the tank in the back that my filter was on started to sink due to the fact that I kind of overfilled water in it, and it made the ground soft, and so it sank, which resulted in the entire system not working. So I had to clean the filter out recently, which I wouldn't have had to do, but because of that, I had to do it because I had to empty the barrel to move the barrel. It was a mess. I had stuff everywhere, and the water was just nasty. I'm like, I don't know how that's going to filter out, but just today it's starting to like clear. Like I can see the bottom of it and stuff, and I'm like, it's really nice.
Did you have plans to move it or upgrade it or anything in the future? Or
eventually, there's a heater that I want to eventually build for it. I'm told it's very efficient, and it's this cavitation heater. I was really excited about it, and eventually I'll make it. But I think you probably have to make it out of metal because I tried to 3D print it and it didn't work. But I'm hoping to maybe do some sort of heater on the system. Plants are also growing good too.
I think we're planning as well. We want to rework the 2 fish tanks into something with like a water cascading over rocks and a whole fancy.
We want to do like a whole wall.
Jumping.
Dolphins.
The aquaponics system that wall goes across there. We want to do a whole wall. And water flows from like grow bin to grow bin. Yeah. And then the tanks, like you were saying, we want to do a nice pond.
Now that we know that it works, and also Bryson enjoys doing it and we enjoy eating from it. We want something more permanent.
I personally enjoy making that water perfectly clear and not using any chlorine or anything. Doesn't smell. You feel like you could just drink it.
I mean, like you could jump in there.
You feel like you shouldn't because there's fish in it and stuff, but it's really clear and clean. And I'm sure it's sterile, it's got UV sterilized. So, it is.
Wouldn't recommend
really
it, but
clean,
definitely tempting.
It is very tempting, I will say. Plus, it's been filtered by the plant roots. I don't know.
It's really beautiful over there. And with all the trees budding out and looking full, it's really fun to hear that water in the backyard. It's tranquil.
I recently planted what was it, like 50 palm trees in the top of that, because I was like, I want low maintenance. Palm trees grow slow, and I thought, hey, I'll start them in there and move them on.
Right.
I planted 50. Guess how many came out of that?
50, 60, 71.
71.
100.
There's only 50 seeds.
Oh.
Well,
details.
you said how many as
so
if there was
a magical number, even number of 2.
I was
That's
expecting
right.
over
Only
the
2
amount.
popped up. Could you imagine? I did all those, and only 2 popped up. Maybe the others will come up, but it's been several months.
Slow growing,
so I've just been like, okay, palm trees don't work in that system. No, they probably do. It's just maybe too wet or something. I'm still kind of figuring that out because
I don't think you can get away from too wet in an aquaponics system.
Well, actually, you can. I don't know if sweet peas and corn, for example.
Yeah.
When it's just soaking in water, they just molt, like they fall apart. They just turn to like a sweet pea soup.
That's a bummer.
No, not really, but they turn mushy and they don't grow. The seeds don't. So there is a fine line that you want to try. You want to damp but not too wet.
There are some
but not too dry
too that will drain the water down
and allow for
low,
that to.
It turns back on, comes back up.
Yeah.
So
my system's kind of continuous.
Frankie Carroll says, "What did you ever do with Jared's parents' camper? Did Jared finish it, or what happened to it?"
it's just been put off, unfortunately.
A little bit longer than we had hoped, but we've got a lot to do on it still.
Got a lot to do on it. The goal is to get it sealed in completely, like redo all the seals on it this month.
Yeah, because we have to prepare now for the monsoon season. So we need to patch it all up and get it functional for a heavy rain. So that is a must. So I'm sure a episode of that will be coming shortly. We actually have a bunch of footage when Jared's parents was down here. We pulled out a bunch of stuff on the inside. So we do have footage to share and progress to share on it. We just haven't gotten the opportunity to put a episode together on it yet. So, but we will soon. We're pretty excited about that build.
It's kind of like one of those projects you put to the side and then you come back to.
Yeah.
Like the well drilling project for me is that way. I have just setting off to the side.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
I haven't given up. Just coming back. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. We really appreciate you hanging out with us and being a part of our family. We want to give a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for your monthly donations. We really appreciate it. If really given helps. $1 or $2 a month sounds like something you might be interested in, the link down there will be in the description. We really appreciate all those. Definitely helps us out around here and keeps us rolling. On Friday, we'll show you what we've done this week, which is a lot on. It's going to be an episode on the workshop build. And we've got some fun upgrades. Stay tuned. We're pretty excited about that. So anyway, thank you so much.
The skid steer is going to fly.
We're putting jets on it.
But actually, I was thinking TNT underneath it. But, jets work too.
Jets could create an airflow and they could push it up through a tube.
Anyway, we really appreciate you hanging out with us, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday for another episode on the workshop.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.